Okay, so back on where I wanted to start, I guess, Dan, was on the whole forensic concept itself, because I know that in sessions I've talked to other people and other people that do this kind of stuff a lot, like Alan Blay-Weiss and so on. One thing that and Terry obviously, and I've been doing it for 3-4 years, one thing we find a lot is that people come to you right away and they think they know what it is. It's like, oh, I've been hit, unless it's a manual, you know what I mean? If they've just got traffic loss, they come in the door making assumptions that I think it's Penguin or I think it's this and that. And what we've learned to do over the years is pull back the timeline in the analytics and look at other known dates, you know, and look for other things that might be at the cause. And you often find many things.
Yeah, well, you can't just look at declines in traffic. You've got to look at increases in traffic, because, right? I mean, you know, if I see a spike in traffic on a keyword, I know that the link spamming started a week or two before that. So, you know, what did you guys actually start doing in October 2012? You know, that, you know, a month later you took a dive. You know, why did things run up before they ran down? Do you know what's going on? You know, there is no time machine on some of this stuff. Sometimes it was done technically on the server back in the day, right? But at least being able to, with links, get some sense of, you know, when have there been bursts of activity, because it tends to be done in bursts, and what's the actual nature? Because especially with penalty removal, right, we're going to have to actually plead guilty to all these crimes in detail.
Yeah, and so many people don't keep records of it, or whoever they paid didn't keep records of it. You know, you're shooting in the dark, and you make a good point there, because, you know, so many people run off the Majestic to look at, you know, this and that, or Ahrefs or wherever, but you could actually see the analytics. Hey, Terry, our friend in the UK there, they were spamming stuff up, and, you know, and sure enough, just like you're saying, around the date, we knew the dates they were doing this guest blogging, but you saw it go up, and the rankings and the traffic go up. And then as soon as Penguin hit, boom, down below pre-spamming levels. So yeah, you do actually see it happening in a positive manner to identify.
There's also just for sites that have been out there a long time, right? If you don't look at the analytics, I've shown you this site. One of my clients has been on the internet since the 90s, and you see their traffic slowly going down. When did it start? Personalization. Canadian company that had a lot of U.S. Traffic coming to it. Yeah. Bang, that's gone now. And I thought they had penalties. It's just traffic's gone. Like,
yeah, the thing is, you got to identify the problem.
Right.
You know, with you know, stuff that kind of we think of as you know, ranking penalty or whatever. Which whatever. I don't even want to get into the semantics of that, but when we see a problem, right, we can see, you know, here you did crazy shit with links over here, or we can say shit on this thing, right, Dave?
Oh, I don't want to shit on it. Fucking right, man.
Oh, man, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you know, anybody who's not used to us by now, they'll get used to us pretty quick.
Yeah, that's I figured this is one of those places where it's almost required to get respect, but
yeah.
The problem is the problem. It doesn't really matter which algorithm or set of them caught the problem and made the problem a bigger problem. But, you know, it could be Panda, it could be Penguin, it could be both, because there's overlap on that stuff and links and other things too.
We even saw we
have to figure out what's the problem that we got to solve. And, you know, Terry's example is a fantastic example of that, where the problem isn't even on the search engines, and as such, in terms of algorithm, it's just right, they stop showing your stuff to people that shouldn't be seeing it.
Yeah, you know, even systemic stuffs with your CMS or whatever. We've talked so many times to people about keeping, you know, developer change logs. If it's big corporations we're working with or smaller groups, it doesn't really matter. We're always like, you know, what we ask and never get an answer. Yes, we come in the door saying, "Do you guys have a developer change log?" No, we don't. Well, what? No, we don't have what. And so you're almost handicapped at that point, because we've done that before with someone, Terry. I think it was about a year and a half ago. We had noticed something go on, and we were like, "What happened on this date?" And it wasn't because it didn't line up with any known changes or whatever. Turned out that the admin had implemented a bunch of 301s and this and that, and they'd screwed them up. And that's what part of the root of the cause was, this bunch of 301 redirects they put.